everyone. This is Faith Howard Mooney, VP of Member Engagement of TMC. I have with me today Melissa Langdale, who is the SVP and Director of Mortgage at Right by You Mortgage. Welcome, Melissa.
Thanks for having me today.
Not a problem at all. So you kind of know the drill. We're going to go through some quick questions and then one random question at the end. And you probably are the one person that I know kind of their background story or a little bit of it. So I'm excited to hear you tell it to everyone else. But tell me about what your first job ever was.
This is a hard one to answer. So my first job where I worked and received a check was babysitting. Well, it was more cash, but my first volunteer job was at a dentist office because I thought at 12 I wanted to be a dentist. And then my first actual W-2 job was at a movie theater. I worked in concessions and tickets, and funny story, I actually was the first female projectionist at our movie theater. And I'm very proud about that. They didn't think a lot of girls had the technical ability. So I was very surprised and honored to get to do that. But it was fun. I loved it. I got a chance, especially in the projection booth, I got a chance to kind of set movies up. I could watch them, before everybody else did. I could sit up there and kind of do homework and just kind of cue up movies as they would go through. It was a ton of fun.
That is a pretty cool job for a first real job to have. Not everybody has had that experience. That's pretty neat. So you were a technical person even way back then.
Oh yeah, I would splice movie reels, and I loved it. It was so much fun.
That is very, very cool. So from there, then you got into the industry somehow. And I always say that nobody chooses typically to be in this industry. You kind of land in it somehow.
Yeah.
So share with us how you got into the industry and then how long you've been in.
So it's funny you say that, because I say the exact same thing. In fact, that's one of the things I first kind of ask people is their story, because I really feel like we all kind of fall into the mortgage industry, kind of happens to us rather than us kind of intentionally seeking it out. And it's one thing I think our industry needs to change over the years, is to have, kind of that professional growth from college, that kind of career path for new associates to join our industry. But so I got into it right after college. Actually, I started a week before I graduated. I grew up in the mortgage industry. My parents are both in it, or were both in it. And a week before I graduated, I have a degree in health administration, which I'm using well. But it was on the business side of healthcare, and I really could do nothing with that degree without a master's. And so when I graduated, my husband's 2 years older than I am, and he was getting his master's degree. And so one of us had to be working, and my parents at that point were closing, just kind of the two of them, and they had a processor, but they were closing about 40 to 50 units a month. And they just desperately needed help. So they said, okay, come on board. We'll have you, copy and fax and mail out stuff for us. And it's back in the day when Lehman Brothers was actually in business. So I would sit on the phone with our investors and try to find out where our loans were in the queue. We worked for a broker office back then. And I had told them when I first joined them, I was like, you only have me for 12 months, because that's when my husband's going to go back to get his, or going to be able to get out of his master's program, and I'm going to go get into mine. That's it. That's all I got. You got me for 12 months. And so I started with them, and about 3 months in, our processor quit. She was, bless her heart, severely overworked. And we were doing so many loans. And it was back in the day when like 80 and 80/20s were such a huge thing. And
Oh,
so,
yeah.
those 40, 50 files really were more like 70, 80 by the time you got through the first and seconds and all the structuring between the two. And, um, she just had her hands in so much. And so they looked at me and said, okay, kiddo, now you're a processor. And, it's funny, a few weeks into it, I had a lady cry on the phone with me and just tell me that she never thought she could become a homeowner. And she was so grateful for everything we did to help her leave a legacy for her children. And I was like, I'm all in. This is all I ever wanted to do. Because really, my whole reason of wanting to do something with healthcare is that I have this weird gift for numbers. In fact, like I didn't get less than 100 on any math test until calculus. I just love it. It's kind of a language, but I wanted something where I could use kind of my gift for numbers and help our community at the same time. And I figured healthcare would allow me to do that. And so as soon as she, kind of shared that story and more research I did on the industry, really the more I realized and recognized what an impact we get to have on people's lives. There are so many people, even today. I mean, that, kind of pie in the sky dream of home ownership, it's real. I mean, just, last year I had a lady approach me and she said, I can't wait to buy my first house. And I was like, wait, what's holding you back? I had to start the conversation. I'm like, what's going on? What's holding you back? And so it's still there today. There's so many people that recognize the advantages of owning their home, and it's just fun to get a chance to be a part of that. So I've not looked back since then. I've been in the industry for 19 years. I've done operations and sales, and grown regions and areas, and kind of built a builder services division for OnKey Financial. I had and then I've been here at Fidelity for the last 3 years, building out Right By You Mortgage. So it's a ton of fun. I love it.
Yep. And once you get in, you just never leave. It just
No, it
doesn't.
gets in your blood.
It does for sure.
Yeah.
So, what is the one thing going, back to when you were saying, I'm only here for 12 months, you only have me for 12 months. What's the one thing that you wish you would have known back then that just like seems maybe so obvious to you right now related to our industry?
This is a little hard because I think looking back, we could all probably have a million things we can share. Um, I would say how to stick up for myself. Back when I first got into the industry as kind of a newbie, you're trying to establish your relationships and kind of prove your worth and your value. And, you're eager to please and eager to showcase your skill sets and all of those things. And, uh, there's also moments in your career where you have to be able to kind of say no. This isn't the venture that I need to go down, or this isn't the path that we need to walk down. Or I've had a few points in my career where I've really just had to kind of stand up for what I wanted and where I wanted to go. And I think as I first got into the industry, that was probably a little bit of a learning curve for me, was figuring out, what are the right things to say yes to, and what are the things that I could say no to and be okay with. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
that
love that answer. That's so true for most young people entering a profession. I think that you don't have a basis for knowing what to do in certain circumstances, and that your view of thing, it is your job and your life, and it's so important. So I love that answer. If you didn't go down this path, um, would you be in healthcare, or is there something different that you would be doing for a profession?
um, this one's hard for me too, because I'm all in. Like I said, I mean, I absolutely love every part of this industry. luckily have been able to be in a lot of parts of this industry over the years. And um, I would uh, probably stick to the foundation of anything that I can do with numbers that can help other people. Um, at the end of the day, that is kind of my driver. And if I can still use those things to help others, or use my gift for numbers to help others, I'd always love to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Follow your passion for
Mhm.
sure. That's where you have the most success.
Absolutely.
Um, Last question already.
Okay.
So this might stress you out a little bit. I know it did me when I was thinking about it. So you have your phone, you have lots of apps on your phone. You can only keep three. What are
Oh
the three?
goodness.
What are the three that you keep?
Does like text message and email count as an app, or like,
Yep.
yeah? Oh, oh, good gravy. That's so hard.
I know. It's a crazy
Um,
question when you think about it. Everything's done by an app now.
and does the camera count?
No, we'll not count the camera.
Okay, okay. I was gonna say camera, text message, and email. Um, email, text message, and my calendar. I
Uh,
could not live if I did not have those 3 things with me all the time. My world is just, kind of live and die by the calendar, and I'd love to get back to people quickly, so the text message and email is the best way to do that.
Great answer. Well, thank you for doing this with me today. I really appreciate it. And you've been such a great engaged member, even with everything that you've had going on this last year. And we appreciate everything that you've done to help the other lender members within our network.
Well, I love every minute of it. Thank you for asking, and happy to help.
Fantastic. Fantastic. We'll talk soon.
Okay.